Anybody have a suggestion how I get rid of my picture?
I'm working on the settings, so it will just be a second.
Okay, David, thank you.
No problem. Your settings, your thing went away now.
I see that. Thank you so much.
Welcome back, Toastmasters. I want everyone to put their rally caps on. We're in the bottom of the ninth of tonight. We got a great game ahead of us. Loosen your belts, be prepared to laugh, and I'm going to pass it over to our humorous speech leader right now, Sarah Mayer. Sarah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this year's virtual humorous speech contest. Thank you for your inspiration and your support in preparing for our contest. I know each of us has grown to be an even better version of ourselves this year. And on behalf of District 3, thank you. And no contest can be conducted without the hard work of many individuals. So join me in thanking our district contest judges who are kept anonymous, as well as the ballot counters, timers, and the chief judge and contest manager, as well as anyone else who may have assisted in making this contest successful. Because this virtual contest is being recorded, the legal team at Toastmasters International requires me to read this really not funny long statement. So bear with me. By attending this remote district speech contest, you agree to the privacy policy of Toastmasters International, as well as the unassociated remote hosting service. Some of your personal information, such as name, image, and anything else that you share on screen may be shared with others in this meeting, as well as outside this meeting by Toastmasters International, who may use the recording in the future, and the district who may use the recording as they see fit. Your remote attendance hereby discharges Toastmasters International from all claims, demands, rights, promises, damages, and liabilities arising out of or in conjunction with the use or distribution of said video recordings, including but not limited to any claims for invasion of privacy, appropriation of likeliness, or defamation. So now's the chance. If you want out of this meeting, you don't like that statement, you can head on out. But other than that, we're on a recording. All right, our humorous speech contest is finally here, and this is an exciting event, and we are all in for a real treat. Each of our humorous speech contestants started with an idea that their speech was solid, worthy of a contest, and could be well delivered. And I truly have a deep appreciation for the tremendous amount of work that each one of the speakers put into their speeches. And I know that they are nervous. When we spoke last night, they shared that they were nervous but excited about this evening. They've practiced, they've rehearsed, they've revised their speeches, and you are in for a real treat this evening. So to all the Toastmasters and guests at this event, please observe their style, their technique, their passion, and please, please, please turn on your camera so they can see you in the crowd laughing at their speeches and they are able to enjoy the evening. Before we begin the contest, I do have a few reminders for our audience. At this time, your audio has been muted to avoid interruptions during the contest. Please note that the chat feature has been disabled for the duration of the contest to avoid influencing the judges and distracting the contestants. Please buckle your seatbelts, remain in your seat while you're on camera. Take a moment to look around your house, find your nearest exit rows, and reduce sudden movements while you're on camera. Remember that you are on camera, even if you're not speaking. So please avoid any remarkable or embarrassing movements or taking us into places in your home that we should not be. During the moment of silence between speakers, all audio lines will be muted. Now, before we start the contest, let's take an opportunity to recognize our attending dignitaries that are here today. I would like to introduce our commissioner, also known as the MC, our dignitary spotter, Ryan Burns. Ryan?
There we go. Toastmasters, I'm back. I'd like to start by acknowledging District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Karen Hewitt. Our Program Quality Director-elect, Distinguished Toastmaster, Sarah Mayer. Club Growth Director, District Director-elect, Distinguished Toastmaster, Steve Feld. We've got our Finance Manager, Distinguished Toastmaster, Tammy Gallagher. Public Relations Manager, Pathways Level 5, Mariana Reeves. Immediate Past District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, David Hopper. Agave Division Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Angel Lorena. Ironwood Division Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Jennifer Sebastian. Mesquite Division Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Prince Leftridge. Ocotillo Division Director, Pathways Level 4, Edna Saki. Palo Verde Division Director, Club Growth Director-elect, Distinguished Toastmaster, Tom Taboni. Saguaro Division Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Martha Brock Leftridge. Area A1 Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Shin Yin. I1 Area Director, Pathways Level 3, Heather Bennett. I3 Area Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Betty Covington. I4 Area Director, Division A Director-elect, Pathways Level 2, Maria Angelica Deeb. I5 Area Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Wendy Durfee. M4 Area Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Dick Sanders. O1 Area Director, Pathways Level 5, Harry Wolf. O3 Area Director, Pathways Level 3, Ashley Coleman. O5 Area Director, Pathway Levels 4, myself, Ryan Burns. Woo! O6 Area Director, Pathways Level 3, Celia Messer. P1 Area Director, Pathways Level 1, Jana Gillespie. P2 Area Director, Division C Director-elect, Pathways Level 5, Jill Kipnis. P6 Area Director, Past District Governor, Distinguished Toastmaster, Trish Blackwelder. S2 Area Director, Pathways Level 3, Brian Womack. Past International Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Don Griffith. Past International Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Tim Swearingen. Past District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Peter Salazar. Past District Governor, Distinguished Toastmaster, Cynthia Kerford. Past District Governor, Distinguished Toastmaster, Jim Davis. Past District 45 Governor, Distinguished Toastmaster, Oliviette Avizio. And our Division B Director-elect, Distinguished Toastmaster, Jeff Isman. Sarah, back to you.
Did we inadvertently miss any dignitaries that are not judges or contestants? If so, please indicate in chat so that we can call your name.
And I'm so sorry if I missed you or butchered your name, but we appreciate all of you so much. Thanks for being here.
All right, and I did see a note in chat, you all hear me, correct? All right, so you're hearing me. Lucky or not. All right, so I have a very important question for our chief judge. We can unmute our chief judge. Chief Judge, are we ready for a contest?
Madam Contest Chair, we are ready for a contest.
Woohoo, well, buckle up, here we go. All right, so our chief judge has confirmed we are ready for a contest. So all contestants, timers, and ballot counters have all been briefed prior to the beginning of this contest, and everyone is aware of the Toastmasters international rules that govern this contest. So let the contest begin. District 3, humorous speech contestants, please indicate you are present by raising your hand using the raise your hand function in the Zoom controls, and this can be found under participants. Looks like I see everybody. We have everybody. All right, good. I love the waving hands. All right, thank you. You can go ahead and remove your raised hand indicators. The speakers have also added the order that they will speak to their name, and there will be 1 minute of silence between each contestant. Timekeepers, when I advise you to do so, please signal me with the green background when 1 minute is up. After all contestants have spoken, the judges will be given all the time they need to complete their ballots. All right, contestants, please take time to pin the timekeeper in your Zoom window now to ensure that you can see the timing signal. Timekeepers, will you please cycle your lights? And I do want to ask you to do that just one more time so the contestants can confirm that they have pinned the timer and they are able to see the timer. And then timer, can I also ask for an audible signal of all the lights, please?
Green, yellow, red,
We do that one more time.
green, yellow, red.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, contestant number 1, we are going to unmute you. Heard somebody else talking. I don't know if I.
Hi there.
All right, contestant number 1, Marcus, please acknowledge you are muted with a good evening, contest chair.
Good evening, contest chair.
Perfect. And can you please confirm that you are able to hear the timing audible?
Yes, I can hear that.
Perfect. All right. So we are ready to go. Marcus Schmidt, Gobblefunk. Gobblefunk, Marcus Schmidt.
Gobblefunk? What is that, you may ask? Is that some kind of style of music where you do a weird dance while stuffing your face? Or is it an unpleasant odor that is prevalent around turkeys? Get it? Gobble funk? No, it is an actual word which means playing with words to form new meanings. Now, if you've never heard that before, please don't feel illiterate. I had not heard this word till about 2 months ago, and it was because my wife brought it to my attention. She, in turn, had heard it from a very prestigious person, namely the Prime Minister of Britain, but it was coined by British author Roald Dahl. Honored judges, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests, how many words can you think of that were introduced during your lifetime that at first seemed like they were just made up because they were words just mashed together into something new, and now they're in our common vernacular? I mean, things like staycation, hangry, and podcast didn't even exist when I was growing up. Speaking of podcast, the first time that my wife heard that word, she couldn't help but ask, well, how far are those pea pods being thrown? Yes, I know that's silly, but in her defense, how comfortable are you with some of these newfangled expressions like farcation, angertainment, and blendamentals? And the latest doozy I've heard, Kissinger. Now, Kissinger has nothing to do with the former Secretary of State and National Security Advisor, Henry Kissinger, for you history buffs. No, this is a synthetic set of lips which you put on your mouth, you kiss into it, it records parameters about your kiss, transmits those over your cell phone to someone else's cell phone, who then has another synthetic set of lips, and then it mimics how you kissed. Yes, I did not make this up. I heard this on the Prime Evening News. Well, it's not how I would choose a mate, but to each his own. Now, besides gobblefunk corroding our language, we've got abbreviations from text messages weaseling their way into our spoken language. Things like LOL and BFF are commonplace, but watch out. It won't be long till you hear PMSL, peeing myself laughing, and GOAT. Yes, you heard me. Goat. Isn't that bad? Now, goat being a creature with an undiscretionary appetite. If you called me a goat, I might think you are insulting me and implying that I do not have a sophisticated palate. Excuse me. In religious circles, it could be seen as something bad, because after all, in the parable of the sheep and the goats, the sheep on the right are blessed, but the goats on the left are cursed. But no, it is one of the highest compliments you can bestow on someone, greatest of all time. Though used primarily in sports circles, I wonder how long it will be till I hear a eulogy at a memorial service where someone with reverence says, he or she was a true goat. Adding to the confusion is when people take abbreviations of text and abbreviate those. Let me illustrate. Last fall, I'm just chilling on my couch watching the evening news when the sportscaster comes on and says, the Cards need a dub. The Cards, let's see, it is football season. They must be talking about the Cardinals, but dub, why would they need a soundtrack different from the original? No, that couldn't be. So I started looking up different definitions of dub, and there were over half a dozen of them. One of them was an unskilled person. No, that's the last thing the Cardinals needed with their 3-6 record at the time. None of the other definitions fit any better. So I'm just scratching my noggin and thinking, what could this be? Well, let's see. I knew they needed a win. Oh, it dawned on me. Win is abbreviated with a W in texting. But since W is 3 syllables, when you speak it, you abbreviate it to dub. But wait a minute, win is also 1 syllable. So what have you gained? Nothing. See, if you want to gain clarity in your message, please stay away from those obscure abbreviations and definitely the abbreviations of abbreviations. And if you don't want to lose your audience, stay away from those gobble-funked words. After all, we don't need another word in the English language. There's already over 1 million of them. Since clarity is every Toastmaster's objective, I trust that you will join me in stemming the tide against textifying. Yes, textifying, you know, incorporating text abbreviations into the spoken language. Isn't that a word? Or am I guilty of gobblefunk?
Thank you. May we have 1 moment of silence while the judges mark their ballots. Thank you, timer. Contestant number 2. Firuza, please acknowledge you are unmuted with a good evening contest chair.
Good evening, contest chair.
And please confirm that you can see the timer.
I can see the timer.
Right. Firuza Amanova, the day I met him. The day I met him, Firuza Amanova.
Standing on the edge of the hill, I looked down on the road surrounded by the forest canopy and got my first glimpse of freedom. Freedom from parents, freedom from teachers, freedom from chaperones and all responsible adults. No one was looking. My best friend Anula had dragged the sleds all the way from the hotel lobby and suggested that we sled down the road leading up to the hotel instead of the designated hill in the back, the bunny hill they called it. Anula convinced me that the bunny hill was too meager for children who took cross-country skiing every winter for PE. Although looking back at it, all we did was walk around the circles around the football field. But as far as we were concerned, we were forged out of Soviet steel, ready to take on the challenges of the world. Never mind that we've never been on a mountain before. What could go wrong? It was our first international school trip. We traveled via train and bus all the way from Moscow to the ski resorts of the Czech Republic for what felt like days. There were no hotels, no bathrooms, and barely any breaks until we reached our destination. I tell ya, you haven't lived until you popped a squat down the road next to your English teacher and yellowed the snow. But we would occasionally stop and get food. I may have been only 8 years old, but I was proud to make my own order using the little English that I had learned so far. It wasn't often that I got to eat out at a restaurant, let alone in a luxurious Western restaurant. I want potato, please, I said in my broken English, mesmerized by the golden arches. McDonald's had been open in Russia for only a few years, and we've gone there for special occasions, so it was quite an exciting treat to be eating there on our trip abroad. But what does that have to do with a couple of kids sledding? And how did we end up on top of a mountain unsupervised, you may ask? Simple. We were in a beautiful country, and the adults went out on an excursion into town and left the older kids to watch us. And they didn't want to watch us. And we were ready for an adventure. The winter sun shone brightly above us, but I shivered in my coat as I sat down on the sleds, mentally preparing myself for the ride down the hill. It looked steeper and farther than any of the hills we usually rode on back home. And the dark, menacing forest that the road was leading into did not help my fear and concern that maybe we shouldn't be doing this. But we did it, and it was worth it. We sped down that hill with the wind stinging at our cheeks and our innocent giggles filling the air. I held on to Anule tightly as we started picking up speed. It occurred to me we didn't know how to brake. The sleds usually just stop when we rode them back home. But Anulia was confident and she was fearless, and she was the captain of our ship, leading us deep into the forest. In the shade of the trees, I imagined little red dots everywhere around us, watching us. Eyes, I wondered, could there be wolves? There could. It was possible because we saw one leading up to the hotel when we drove up there. But I quickly let go of that thought when we saw the clearing of the edge of the forest, and the day shone brightly again, and we started slowing down. Unfortunately, the road was leading to a bridge. The bridge over a frozen river. The bridge that was slightly to the left of our trajectory. When we finally stopped, we were about 10 feet from the shore on the frozen ice. We carefully stood up, hoping the ice won't start cracking beneath us. I was only paying attention to my feet as I walked slowly to shore, and while I was looking down, a heavy shoulder slammed into me. Or maybe I slammed into it. Details. As I looked up, I saw a man in sandals, a long robe, long hair, and a beard. Jesus, Anulia and I said to ourselves as we screamed and started running up the hill. I don't know why we screamed and I don't know why we ran, but we were up that hill in minutes, running up to everyone we knew, telling them that we met Jesus. Now, it could be because we were young and excited, or perhaps because we didn't know much about Christianity, but we were convinced that Jesus was alive and well at the bottom of the river, just blatantly running into children. Eventually, the adults came back, but the older kids didn't dare tell them that they lost track of us, or that we slipped away from them and ended up on top of a frozen river hanging out with Jesus, or a statue of one. Anyway, that is the story of the time that I met him.
Thank you. May we have 1 minute of silence while the judges mark their ballots. Thank you, timer. Give me one moment. Chief Judge, if you wouldn't mind checking your text message. Thank you, Chief Judge. Thank you, everyone in the audience, for one moment. Just needed to take care of something really quickly. All right, give me 1 second. We'll be back on. All right, our next contestant, Tara, can you please acknowledge that you are unmuted with a good evening contest chair?
Good evening, contest chair.
Great. And can you please confirm that you can see the timer?
I can, ma'am. Thank you.
Great. All right, Tara Cahill, don't be a stupid criminal. Don't be a stupid criminal, Tara Cahill.
Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests, there are two types of people in this world, lawbreakers and law followers. As someone who works in law enforcement, it's probably good that I'm on the law following side of that. However, it's likely not for the reason that you're thinking. I'm sure you're thinking that I have a sense of pride in my good behavior. And that helps me righteously judge those whose behavior is maybe less than stellar than mine. But I can assure you that's not the case at all. I am a law follower simply because I recognized at a very early age that I would be a terrible lawbreaker. You know, one of those people that would not only go to prison, but would end up on those 10 most stupid criminal shows. That would be me. Why is that? Well, I'm glad you're asking. Today, I'm going to share my story with you in the hopes that you too can become a law follower and stay out of jail. Think of it as an equal opportunity public service announcement. All right, number one, I would be a terrible lawbreaker because I cannot lie. Yeah, everybody says that. What a lie. Now, I assure you that's not the case. I can't lie. I'm just like Pinocchio, only my nose doesn't grow. My face turns bright red. It's almost like I have a billboard written across my face, telling everybody what thoughts and what feelings I'm having inside. Kind of embarrassing. I can't look anybody in the eyes and tell them the truth. A couple of weeks ago, my boss called and wanted to do a video chat with me at work. I didn't have the heart to tell him I was sitting at McDonald's and working from there. So when he asked me where I was, I blew off the question. I'm just working. No, but where are you? Oh, well, I'm at home. Weird. I've not seen very many homes that have concrete walls. Well, my office, it's in the garage, and the garage has concrete walls. And I felt like an idiot, and I know I sounded stupid. So I don't remember really the rest of the conversation. I just know I could not get off the phone fast enough. And then once I got off the phone, it ate me alive. I'm driving to work and I can't stop thinking about it. I'm trying to justify. I'm trying to say it's okay. Oh, he'll forget. But I couldn't do it. So I had to call him up. I'm sorry, Mr. Assistant Commissioner. I have to admit that I lied to you earlier. I didn't want to tell you where I was because I was ashamed. Well, where were you? I was at McDonald's. Oh, I don't care about that. Oh. I was mortified and he couldn't have cared less. But I'm actually the person that people come to for their honest feedback. Do these pants make my butt look big? Well, yeah, but you shouldn't blame the pants so much. Mr. Toastmaster, that was a wonderful speech, but I counted 42 ahs, 13 ums, 16 likes, 40 you knows, and you used so about so many times. I don't even mean to lie. Or no lie. See, I can't even lie about lying. I don't even mean to tell the truth. It just comes out that way. Second reason I would be a bad criminal is because I cannot keep my own secrets. Now, if you tell me your secrets, no problem. In the vault, not going anywhere. That's easy. It's not my information to share. But when it comes to me, I don't have a filter and I don't know a stranger. Let's say you're lucky enough to sit next to me on the airplane while I got on a fight with my husband on the way to the airport. By the time we land, you're going to have enough hours listening and giving advice to be a marriage counselor. Third reason I would make a terrible criminal is I overthink everything. Let's say I wanted to sell fake Rolex watches on the internet. Since I don't know anything about fake Rolex watches, I turn to Dr. Google. Where do you get fraudulent goods to sell on the internet? How do you set up a fraudulent website? Is it really against the law? And will I really go to jail if what I'm selling I think is real and then later we find out that it's fake? Well, when the authorities knock on my door to bust my www.fakerolexwatches.com website and they seize my computer and my cell phone, they are going to learn every thought I ever had, criminal or otherwise, because I've typed it in Google. So I think you can tell that being overly honest and over communicator and trusting the internet, maybe more than my own sanity, makes me a poor choice to be a criminal. And I hope you can see that those characteristics wouldn't work for you and we can all stay out of jail. Madam Contest Chair.
Thank you, Tara. May we have one moment of silence while the judges mark their ballot. Thank you, timer. Contestant number 4, Frank, please acknowledge you are unmuted with a good evening,
Unmuted.
contest chair. Frank, please confirm that you can see the timing lights.
I can see the timing light.
All right, great. Frank Lewis, red hot chili and finger poi.
Can you put
Red
me on
hot
speaker
chili.
view? Can you put me on speaker view?
Hold
Or
on
should I
one
do-
second. Yes, so we want to make sure you can see the lights, so you can put yourself on speaker view, click view up on the top.
Yeah.
Is that what
Okay,
you
let
want to
me
be
get-
on?
Yeah, let me just a second.
Yep. And then make sure you have the timer pinned,
All right, there we go.
and you can still see the timer?
I can see the timing light and I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can, you sound great.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair.
Wait, let me introduce you really quick, hold on. And then I'll kick it over to you, okay?
What was that?
I'm gonna introduce you and your speech title, and then I'll kick
Oh,
it over to
okay.
you. Okay? Frank Lewis, red hot chili and finger poi. Red hot chili and finger poi, Frank Lewis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, distinguished guest and fellow Toastmasters. Now, I grew up in New Mexico, the land of enchantment, where our basic food plan was pinto beans, tortillas, and chilies. You might say that this is where the cowboys and the Indians, we just ate off the same plate. Now, you're talking about chilies. You got to know that we have our green chili over here, and the green chili is what we fed to those folks back east and those silly Californians. Now, you got your hot chilies, and the hot chilies, they'll make your eyes water and make your tongue stick out. This is hot, hot. But my favorite is the extra hot. I call these the hooves of hail. Now, these will not only make you holler hidey ho and run for more water, but you're going to just beg for more water and just wish you hadn't even been born, those red hot chilies. Now, don't get me down to this Russian fish eggs and French quiche and British plum pudding. I can't eat that. That'll never touch these tender lips. Why, the only most sensitive, craziest looking fruit I ever ate was a thing they called an avocado, kind of a wrinkly looking thing. Now, that lasted pretty good for me until I met a girl from Hawaii. Yep, my whole food plan changed. Now, my fellow Toastmasters, I got to tell you something about my kinfolk from Hawaii. When they come to visit, they don't visit, they stay. And they stay, and they stay, and they stay. And every night when I would come home from work, there's all this crazy stuff on my table. I was in a food desert. I got this raw fish. I got this mangoes. I got papayas. I got kimchi. I got stuff I don't even recognize. I'm starving to death. What am I going to do? Well, you know what I did, my friends? I cracked out the Swiss Army knife of food. Peanut butter. I managed to figure out 120 ways to prepare peanut butter. You got your peanut butter and jelly, you got your peanut butter and honey, you got your peanut butter and mayonnaise, you got peanut butter. I figured out so many ways to prepare peanut butter that I even wrote a book called The Joys of Peanut Butter and Beyond, a bestseller, my folks. Now, finally, after the in-laws left, they gave us an invitation to go to Hawaii. Not only are we going to Hawaii, we're going to stay with Grandma. Now, this old woman was the best cook in Hawaii. So I thought, well, if she could cook, maybe I won't starve to death. Well, we landed in Honolulu, and they put the lays on everybody. All my family took off and left me with 4 very large Polynesian gentlemen and put me in the back seat of an old Toyota sedan. I had no idea where we were going. We went over this little bumpy road. I didn't say Waikiki. I was being kidnapped. Well, after a while, we finally went down this little bumpy road to this beautiful little lagoon. And there was Grandma's house. Take a scene right out of South Pacific or maybe Gilligan's Island. This is exactly what it looked like. Lush and gorgeous, surrounded by a beautiful forest. Well, all the grandpas and the uncles and the cousins all came over, and we all got to standing around and playing ukuleles and maracas and the bongo drums all day long. And probably about, I think about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, one of the uncles says, "Whoa, hey, I'm getting hungry over here. Maybe we go over to Kentucky Fried Chicken and get us some Kentucky Fried Chicken over there." Whoa, you don't say that in front of grandma. This woman was the best cook on the islands. She said, well, let me tell you about grandma. She spoke 5 languages at one time. She spoke English, she spoke Pidgin, she spoke Hawaiian, she spoke Spanish, she spoke Portuguese, all at one time. She looks at me and she says, "You Holly boy, you go get conduity beans. Hey, you uncle, go get chicken over there. Hey, you over there, go get some mango. You go get papaya. You go get plantain." This whole place erupted into a food hunt. So I'm out in the yard looking around. I'm picking these things called conduity beans up in the air. And I look by, there goes some uncle chasing this chicken. Well, I tell you what, my friends, my fellow Toastmasters, I got to tell you, this is a true story. In 1 hour, that woman had this long table completely covered with real Hawaiian food. None of it which I understood or what was there. I was starving to death. I'm looking at all this food. Pretty soon my father-in-law comes up to me and says, "Son, what's going on?" I said, "Well, I don't know what to eat here." So he started telling me what the food was there. He said, "You got your papayas, you got your mangoes, you got your kimchi, you got all of this stuff, and it's really, really good for you." I ain't eating it. Now, I said, "Why you got them 3 bowls over there?" He said, "Well, the one bowl over there, that's called one-fingered poi." Now, my friends, I got to tell you about poi. It looks like wallpaper taste, and it tastes just about like that, wallpaper taste. I think they take an old cowboy boot, and they just beat the heck out of it until you can finally dissolve that thing and then make poi out of it. Well, the one-fingered poi goes like this, my friends. It's very viscous. You put your finger in the bowl, and you swirl it around and get it on one finger, and there you go. That's one-fingered poi. Then you got probably the least viscous, and that's called the 2-fingered poi. It works kind of like a human spoon, kind of like this. You scoop it in there like this, and you yum, 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 yum. That's 2-fingered poi. Ha. Now we come to 3-fingered poi. This is the one right here. This is the challenge. You reach in here, you kick out 3-fingered poi. Yum, 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 yum. I don't think this would ever work at your neighbor's Super Bowl party, because washing of hands and eating a poi is totally an option. Well, we each stood around all day. We was playing, eating, and finally somebody said, "Let's go back to playing those maracas and the ukuleles." So all through the evening, we entertained ourselves. And I think Don Hoy would have been really proud of this group, because we played all way into the night. When I got back to New Mexico, I had my tamales, I had my tacos, I had my burritos, I had my pinto beans, and I had my chili. But I did change my attitude about eating different kinds of foods, folks. I did find out that, you might want to try this, peanut butter and poi ain't too dadgum bad. Bon appetit, my fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you, Frank. May we have 1 minute of silence while the judges mark their ballots? Thank you, timer. Contestant number 5, Valerie, please acknowledge you are unmuted with a good evening contest chair.
Good evening, contest chair.
Great, I can hear you. Can you confirm that you can see the timing lights?
I can see the timing lights.
Great. All right, Valerie Crew, Castaway. Castaway, Valerie Crew.
Tonight, I tell a tale of a woman cast away, forced to work and live in isolation in a stucco-walled prison in the middle of the Sonoran Desert. Turkey vultures slowly circle around the remains of her once thriving social life. Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, did you know that the human brain requires social interaction to work properly? And if it's denied that particular stimuli, well, then you end up with people knitting hats for their hamsters or trying to teach their dog to ballroom dance. I could tell you that when the shutdown started and I found that my social life now resembled my workout routine, non-existent, I knew I was in trouble. I began to feel like that character from the old Tom Hanks movie, Castaway. Do you remember it? He's stranded on a deserted island, slowly going mad because he has no one to talk to. So he creates a friend for himself, Wilson. You know, I felt like I really understood that character and what he was going through. After all, he was off foraging for food, and I was off foraging for toilet paper. He was rubbing sticks together to create a fire, and I attempted to bake from scratch. But honestly, what I really related to was his need for Wilson, for someone to talk to. When the lockdown happened, I thought I'd just hang out with Wilson. I mean, come on, he was Tom Hanks' friend, right? He was easy to get along with. We did have fun in the pool together, just floating and kind of bobbing along. But alas, it was not meant to be. For you see, I'm a pickleball kind of gal. And Wilson, well, he lives in a volleyball world. It was just never going to work. But that was okay, because I had 2 lifelines to help me through the isolation. The first, my rescue dog, Dobby, otherwise known as Dabba Dabba Doo, the Dobster, or Robert Mondavi. And I have to say, I am so glad I adopted him at Christmas time, right before the pandemic. His love and his joy with everything, well, it kept me pretty happy. Plus, I finally had someone else in the house to talk to, even if he turned out not to be the greatest conversationalist. Dobby, now it's Mommy's turn to eat dinner. You be good, you've already eaten. Mom, that smells way better than my dinner. Can I have some? Can I have some? Can I have some? Ah, and you know, I'd give in because it wasn't much fun trying to eat dinner when you felt like you were being circled by sharks the entire time. Our conversations on our long walks, not much better. Mom, smell this. Mom, smell this. Mom, wait, I need to pee on this. But what Dobby lacked in sparkling conversation, he more than made up for with his unconditional love. Well, kind of unconditional love, Turns out that Dobby is not into ballroom dancing. And I can tell you that because I have the teeth marks to prove it. After that, I decided maybe poor Dobby needed a break. And so I turned to my lifeline number 2, my weekly Toastmaster meeting. I think my club only missed 1 week before we reconvened on Zoom. And no, it didn't exactly go perfectly, and I'm sure you all know that. One member gave a passionate speech while on mute. And have you ever noticed how the camera freezes when your face is at its worst? Or when someone's pet cat walks in front of the camera, turns its back, proudly lifts that tail in the air. I can tell you, I have seen close-ups of so many cat butts by now that I could be a cat proctologist. But honestly, none of that really mattered because we were all together, supporting each other and learning and growing in this new normal together. And after my Toastmaster meeting, I didn't feel like a castaway. I felt heard and seen. Well, at least from the top up. The lockdowns, the pandemic have been hard, but I've learned one thing. No man is an island. We need each other. So when you're about to press buy now on that matching sequin dance outfit for your dog, skip it and instead go to your Toastmaster meeting. Because as long as you have Toastmasters, you'll never be a castaway. Madam Contest Chair.
Thank you, Valerie. May we have 1 moment of silence while the judges mark their ballot.
Madam Contest Chair, it's been a minute.
Thank you. Contestant number 6, Kiran, please acknowledge you are unmuted with a good evening contest chair.
Good evening, contest chair.
Great, we can hear you, confirming you can hear me and see the timing lights.
Yes, I'm unable to pin him, but I'm able to see the timer.
All right, do you need a moment to try and pin him or are you comfortable starting?
Yeah, I'm comfortable starting.
All right. Kiran Vedaham, The Unreal Prince's Diaries. The Unreal Prince's Diaries. Kiran Vedaham.
Who is he? Is he a real prince? Yes. am the prince of humor, the sultan of satire. Contest chair, judges, toastmasters, and my guests. My dad, who is the king of nowhere, sent me to this great land of America. He said, son, go experience this beautiful world out there. When I came here, I started experiencing shocks after shocks. I mean, culture shocks, I mean. I'm going to be sharing some of those with you today. I'm used to running around in horses. When I came here, I saw that the cars are powerful, options are plentiful, people are lovable, homes are beautiful, life is comfortable, dope is acceptable, and food is debatable. The first word that really tripped me was what's up? When people said what's up, I used to look up. What is up? It took me some time to realize what they are meaning to say. Then they started changing the tone. They used to say, what's up? What's up? It took me a while to realize they just are meaning to say, how are you? The first day that I came to this country, I went to the apartment manager and I said, I want to get some groceries. Can you tell me where I could go? He started to write a list of places that I could go to. I said, just tell me a place where I could go and come home safely. And she said, go to Safeway. Then I went to Safeway. People who are new to this country, they realize that everything that you see in America is 10x. I've never seen a grocery store that big. You have aisles and aisles of fruits, vegetables, and cake mixes. I literally spent 2 hours to get 5 items. Then I went to the cash register. And then the lady said, sir, do you have a MasterCard or a Visa? I said, Visa? Oh my God. Yes. She said, no, no, sir. I mean to say, can you pay with a credit card? Sorry, ma'am. I'm new to this country. I never used a credit card. Sir, to do shopping in this country, it's better you get a credit card. Here are some numbers that you might want to call and get a credit card. I went home and then immediately I thought, I should get a credit card. I made a call. And then guess where the call went to? My brother picked up the call. He works at the American Express call center in India. Half of my town works at this call center for American Express. First I asked, how is mom, Raman? I miss you guys. It was so hilarious. He hooked me up with a card later on and I waited for the card. As soon as I got my credit card, I wanted to taste real American food. I went to the food court. Another strange thing happened. I've never seen a man with a ponytail. There was this man, I thought ponytails were reserved for horses. Anyway, I asked that man who was working, I said, on the menu, I see Italian pizzas. I see Mexican tacos. Is there anything American that I can buy and eat? I want to eat chicken. He said, sir, you can try the buffalo wings. I said, buffalo wings is chicken? He said, yeah, buffalo wings is chicken. As soon as I ordered it, just because I was brown, he put a lot of spice to it and I started eating and immediately I had to use the restroom. I ran to the restroom. I opened the door and my brain started bloating. Here there was a fat man sitting down with his hairy legs and I could hear him. And then I could smell it too. While I was just watching this in amazement, there was a little kid peeping along. I thought, this is such a big country. with so many resources, why did they not complete the door of this bathroom? Blows my mind. I share all these horror stories and funny stories with the king. And the king said, son, don't worry about the differences. Try to integrate. Get rid of your turban. See what the American life is really about. The king is very interested in contests. He sent me to participate in the Toastmasters speech contest. He said, go, win the concert, bring glory to the kingdom. He also said, if you want, I can send some gifts to the judges. I said, man, you cannot, but in America, things are differently done here, but you can't do that. Another difference that I found is people are crazy about merchandise, branded stuff that you pay a lot of money. Not news for you. If you bought any of these branded stuff, you probably paid 4x. I just picked up 4 cans of Budweiser because neighbor was getting rid of it. Here, I got this. You see this cowboy hat? It's a Bud Light hat that I just because the company did a campaign, Americans were getting rid of this stuff, and I picked it up. So I love this free stuff, even though there is so much of social divide between Americans. If there is a if there is a calamity, there is an amalgamation. All of them come together and donate with a big heart. That's why my king also says, God bless America. Regardless of all these differences, what I've come to realize is the feelings that we have towards our mother-in-law is all the same. Back to you, contest chair.
Thank you. May we have one moment of silence while the judges mark their ballot? Thank you. All right, contestant number 7, please acknowledge you are unmuted with a good evening contest chair.
Good evening, contest chair.
Great, we can hear you. Please confirm you can hear me and you have pinned the timer and can see the lights.
Yes, I can see the timer and I can hear you. Thank you.
Great. All right, Ryogen Park, the beauty of miscommunication. The beauty of miscommunication, Ryogen Park.
Good evening, Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests, and future miscommunicators. Some people might think they misheard the title, The Beauty of Miscommunication. Doesn't everyone here want to be a better communicator, but not a miscommunicator? Today, I will share my story of how miscommunication helped and improved my life. You'll be surprised how delightful miscommunication can be. First, thanks to miscommunication, I fell in love with my charming Irishman and happily married him. When I first met him, he was still fresh off the boat. Since I'm not a native English speaker, I was only able to understand him maybe up to 40% of the time. However, our relationship wasn't hindered by miscommunication. Rather, looking back, that might be the height of our romantic relationship. From my point of view, he was the most optimistic person I have ever met. Whenever we had bland meals and watched the most boring movies, his response was, that was grand. Grand? Doesn't it sound a lot like a grandiose, right? So I thought, yes, I am dating such an amazingly positive person. Good job. Little did I know, in Irish, it was grand means it was barely okay. Well, it was a little too late. He already stole my heart. From his point of view, I was just a perfect conversational partner. Whenever he talks about his favorite topic, soccer, which I had no clue about, I always nodded and smiled back at him. While listening to him, I was only thinking about how gorgeous his smile was. Yep, woman can be shallow. But seriously, if you are a Toastmaster, don't you feel so rewarded and engaged when you see nods and smiles in your audience during your speech? I mean, the best audience ever, right? That's how I stole my husband's heart. Miscommunication also saved our marriage. Have you ever learned a second language using a textbook? Textbooks never teach you how to express anger, and of course, never include any vulgar words. Can you imagine one of these little fuzzy, cute friends curse at you? They only teach you how to express gratitude and to be polite, just like this. Therefore, whenever I had a conflict with my husband, my default response was very civilized. I mean, of course, my husband loved it, even though my mind was up to 90 with all dirty Korean vulgar words. Plus, I couldn't fully catch all the nuances of his Irish cynicism. So again, I nodded and smiled back at him. Ironically, this helped our marriage immensely because we were able to reflect, not react. Finally, miscommunication also helped my relationship with my in-laws. The notoriously difficult relationship between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law is almost a standard trope of a Korean TV drama. But actually, I found it was quite true. Last summer, my mother-in-law came over from Ireland in order to help with our newborn baby. I mean, of course, I truly appreciate her support and help, but I was just recovering from a surgery and had a typical postpartum mood swings. So we had quite many conflicts. Oh, wait, no. I cannot say conflicts. When you say conflicts, it takes two to tango, right? Most of times, I couldn't understand her thick Irish accent and her polite complaints. So you know what I did? I again nodded and smiled back at her. Sometimes I even found out that we had a conflict only after she apologized about the instance. Miscommunication is frustrating, but it is inevitable and it can happen anywhere. Once, one of my professors at U of A told me that if you cannot fix it, just feature it. Next time, when you are frustrated by miscommunication, I hope you remember my featured story of how miscommunication can bring up some peace and joy sometimes. And please don't forget, nod and smile, no matter what. Madam Contest Chair.
Thank you. Everyone, please remain silent while the judges are moved into the breakout room so they can complete their ballots. Ballot counters and judges, please rejoin the breakout room and wait for the chief judge to join you. Zoom master, please confirm when all the ballot counters and judges are in the breakout room.
Madam Contest Chair, they are all in the breakout room now.
Great, thank you. Now let's get to know our contestants. Contestants, I will interview you in the order in which you spoke. So first, let's bring up Marcus Schmidt.
Hello,
Hi, Marcus. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm kind of under the weather today, but I was still able to get the speech done, so I'm grateful.
Awesome. Well, we are so grateful to have you here. So Marcus, can you tell us what club are you representing?
Yes, I am representing Competitive Speakers of Phoenix.
Great. And what's your Toastmasters education level?
So I went through the legacy path almost to DTM, and now I am working on the motivational strategies and have completed 3 levels.
Perfect. I love it. And so Marcus, I do have one question for you.
Sure.
And this may be a tough question. So I'm hoping you can come up with this on the spot.
Is this table topics?
Yes, this is table topics.
Okay.
If you were to make up a word, what would the word be?
Well, I made up a phrase, and it is, so my middle name is Gunter. It's actually a German name, Gunter. The more common version of that is with an umlaut, Günther. But when I make up a really bad joke, I call it a Gunter grunter.
Ooh, I love it. A Gunter grunter. That's awesome, Marcus.
When I made up that phrase, I laughed solidly for about 5 minutes.
That's awesome. Well, I look forward to seeing that in the Urban Dictionary. And I want to thank you for participating. And I want to remind you that you will receive a certificate and it will be sent to you as well. And thank you again. All right, contestant number 2, Baruza. Can you come off mute?
I believe I'm off.
You are, perfect. All right, so how long have you been in Toastmasters and what club are you representing?
I'm representing the Blue Expressions Club, Toastmasters Club, and I've been a member. This is my 3rd year.
Oh, great. And what's your current Toastmasters education level?
I'm still on my 1st level. I'm taking my time.
Great. Well, we all start somewhere. And I do have a question for you. I'm not sure if you've had any more snow adventures, but do you ski or snowboard?
Well, actually, this year, I just learned how to ski for the first time. And when I say learn, I just tried it once, and I've never tried snowboarding. So I would say I'm an avid skier. I don't count cross country. That did actually happen. We did take that for PE, but like I said, we just walked around in circles.
I love it. Well, I would say I'm also an avid ski crasher because I don't know how to stop. So there you go. Well, thank you so much for competing. Please accept our appreciation for being a contestant today, and we will send you a certificate as well. All right, next up we have Tara.
Hi.
Hi, Tara. Sue, how long have you been a Toastmaster and what club are you representing?
So I was in Toastmasters about 10 years ago for 3 or 4 years when I was in Louisiana. And then I took a little break and I rejoined about 6 months ago, and I am in Leaders First in Tucson.
Ooh, I love it. And what's your Toastmasters educational level?
I have my competent communicator from the good old days. I probably would have had an ATM bronze, but I never got all my signatures or turned them in. And now I am in the innovative planning pathways because I work for the federal government, and I figure anything I can do to make innovative solutions is a win.
I love it. So I do have a question for you. What would be the most likely reason you would end up in prison?
Oh, for me, for just volunteering stuff. If like I ran the red light and I got pulled over, I would totally give myself up. And the officer would probably be like, oh yeah, no, your inspection sticker was expired. That's the only reason I was pulling you over. Oh, sorry.
I love it. Well, Tara, thank you so much for competing. Please accept our appreciation for being a contestant today, and I will send you a certificate as well. All right, next up we have Frank.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, Frank. So how long have you been in Toastmasters and what club are you representing?
Well, Ralph Smedley and I started this deal in the basement of the YMCA in Santa Ana.
I
No,
love it. Well,
I-
you look great for your age.
Oh, yeah. I started in California back in 2002, I think. And it was kind of a herky-jerky ride. Then I moved up to Utah, where I really got involved in Toastmasters and really got involved in and did the whole program up there.
Awesome. I love it. And what club are you representing again?
I represent the beautiful Cottonwood Toastmasters in lovely Cottonwood, Arizona.
Great. And what is your Toastmasters education level?
Well, I'm a DTM. I've done 3 levels and I'm working on the 4th one, which is innovative planning. And I'm on level 3 on that one.
Great. Thank you so much. So please accept our appreciation for being a contestant today, and I will send you a certificate. All right, next up we have Valerie, our 5th contestant.
Hi.
Hi, Valerie. So how long have you been in Toastmasters and what club are you representing?
I've been in Toastmasters for about 3.5 years, and I am representing the Fountain Hills Toastmasters Club.
Great. And what is your current education level?
Let's see, I'm on level 5 of persuasive leadership and level 3 on presentation mastery.
Great. I love it. Well, I have a very important question for you. Does Dobie actually like Wilson, or is Dobie more of a pickleball dog as well?
Dobby prefers pickleball because he can pick them up in his mouth. Yesterday, or when I was practicing last, I had a pink ball. It accidentally rolled off the table, so I had to go dig out a new one because Dobby took off with it.
Oh, I love it. Well, I guess Wilson is old news then.
Yes, Wilson's about to be retired.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Valerie. Please accept our appreciation for being a contestant today. And again, I will send you a certificate as well. All right. Next up, contestant number 6, Kieran.
Yes, how are you?
Oh, you're in a different place.
Yes, I had to move out of the room. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So how long have you been in Toastmasters and what club are you representing?
I've been with Toastmasters for about 6 months now. For this particular contest, I'm representing Blue, but I am active in Dobson Ranch and also the Talkative Toastmasters.
Great. And what's your education level?
I'm at level 3 right now, working on level 4 for Humorous.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for competing. I do have a question. What is your favorite American restaurant nowadays?
Yeah, I enjoy going to Chipotle, but it's a Mexican mix. I'm just joking, but I love to go to Applebee's. I don't know if you can count it as total American, but I love Applebee's and Chili's.
Love it. I love a good Applebee's. They have a great salad at Applebee's. That's one of my favorites. Well, thank you so much for competing. Please accept our appreciation for being a contestant today, and I will send you a certificate. All right, next up, contestant number 7, Ryajan, are you here?
Yes,
still?
I'm here. Yes.
Change locations? Oh, you did too?
Yeah.
Or just sat down?
Sat down.
Just lower down. All right, so how long have you been in Toastmasters and what club are you representing?
I actually joined and chartered the Cosmopolitan Toastmaster Club in Tucson 10 years ago, but I took a long break and I rejoined it 2 years ago and during the pandemic, as you all know.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Well, thank you for being a charter founding member and then coming back. So what's your current education level?
I completed level 2 of a presentation mastery level. I'm working on level 3 now. Yes.
Oh, good. Good for you. Well, thank you so much for competing. My question for you is, have you been to Ireland and what's your favorite part about Ireland?
Yes, I went to Ireland probably 3 or 4 times, and I'm planning to go back again this summer. And the best part of Ireland, people and
Yes.
drinking. They are the best drinker and they have a good crack. That's what they
Yeah.
say.
I've been to Ireland several times and I love when they say, when you come back. When you come back, you need to do this. They always assume that you're coming back. Great people
Very
in
well.
Ireland.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for competing today and being a contestant. Your certificate will also be sent to you. All right. So now that we have interviewed the contestants, I know that you guys are really excited about district announcements. And Steve is going to be giving 5 spreadsheet pages of announcements for you. And Steve is in the room looking at me like, what? So just kidding. We are going to take a little break and have a special treat with a keynote speaker really quickly while we are waiting for the chief judge and the judges to tally their results. So I would like to introduce you to Alexander Matt. He is one of the rare storytellers that can transport you in time and place the time and place that he is describing. So after joining Toastmasters in 2007, he went from fearing the stage to loving it. He now gives back to the organization and to its members by offering participative training sessions to clubs, divisions, and districts. Multiple times decorated at the International Speech Contest, Alexander finished second place in the World Championship of Public Speaking in 2022 out of 30,000 contestants. Recipient of the Storytellers of Canada Emerging Storyteller Award in 2018, Alexander offers coaching to speakers, particularly for speech contests. It may be a little late for the contestants that competed today, but also to politicians and other professionals. He is in demand for emceeing events and training to local organizations, and you may see him occasionally as an actor on stage or maybe even television. After managing 15 years of finances, that sounds like fun, in cultural organizations, and most recently as the director of finance in the oldest cultural center in French Ontario, he transitioned from counting beans to speaking. And at home, he practices the arts of storytelling with the most difficult audience, his 3 daughters. I am now going to turn it over to Alexander.
Ben, bonjour, hello, District 3, hello, Arizona. It's a pleasure to be here with you or there with you. As you watch this, I am probably with my own District 1, 2, 3. It's their conference at for the same weekend. This is why I cannot be with you live. So if you have any questions for me, don't write them in the chat. I won't see them right now, but I will let you know later on how you can reach me. So today, I hope that we can make a home run together. This comes from New York. When I was with my spouse, we visited Staten Island, and we went to a practice of the Staten Island Yankees, and this was one of the balls that they lost in the stands, and we brought it back home. So it's one of my few sports memorabilia that I have at home, because I don't have any trophies from sports. I'm not very sportive. I am a downhill skier, but I got one trophy once. Best improvement. Yeah, the most improved from my group. But aside from that, the other trophies that I got were from speaking. Because even though when I started in 2009 in Toastmasters, I was really, really nervous. I didn't know what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. Well, thanks to people like you, I was able to start making impact on my audiences and winning contests until 2022, when I got this nice piece of hardware. Second place World Championship of Public Speaking. Pretty good. So how did I get from being a shy, nervous, introverted person to winning that trophy? Notice that I didn't say that I'm not shy and that I'm not introverted and I'm not timid. I still am. It's just that I hide it better now. But how did I get that? Well, I'm going to share with you two main ingredients for speaking success. There are many more, as in with any recipe, you have many, many ingredients. And I could talk to you for a full day about what it took me to make it to the top of the World Championship. But there are two main ingredients that I really want to share with you now. The first one has to do with this box. So especially if you're presenting online, either to a strictly online audience or to a hybrid audience, there is something that you need to do, you need to realize. See, when everything went online in 2020, at first I resisted because I didn't think I could reach anybody online. I need to see the reactions in the people's faces. I want to hear the laughter. I can't do that if I'm just speaking to a camera. But with time, because we were forced to do it anyway, with time I came to embrace this medium. And there are some advantages to presenting online that you do not have when presenting on site. You see, you can look at this box as a limitation. I don't have full range of motion. I can't see my audience. I can move on stage. You don't see what I can do with my with my legs. But you know what? Having some limits actually can help you be more creative. In other words, great innovations come from great limitations. Great innovations come from great limitations. You can be more creative when you think inside the box. Instead of trying to find other ways, what can I do that I wish I was outside the box. No, you are inside the box, so try to be more creative with that. I'll show you an example. The example that I prefer, it's from 2021. Nitai Yair Levy, the second place winner in 2021 World Championship of Public Speaking. Watch what Nitai does with his camera.
Let's travel back in time. Ready? I'm 17. I'm in love with blue eyes, but...
That was brilliant. Bravo, Nitai. You see what he did with the camera? He brought you back in time, like a time machine, using just his hand to cover the lens. Is this something that he could have done in person? No. Nitai Yair was thinking inside the box. What can I do with this camera inside this box that I could not do on stage? Because imagine if he was on stage. Oh, okay, everybody, now I'm going to bring you back in time. Close your eyes for the effect, okay? Close your eyes, yes, everybody, close your eyes, yes? Okay, now keep your eyes closed, okay? Now I'm taking you back in time, remember? Okay, okay. Now open your eyes. Look, I am back in time. I have moved. No, no, that would be ridiculous. Or, here, am I back in time yet? No, 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 that would not work on stage. So think about that. What can you do when you're presenting online? How can you use your camera in a way that you would not be able to do it in person? That's what I mean by thinking inside the box. But before you are able to do all those magical things with this tiny box, there's the basics that you need to master. Before you can present a game-changing presentation, you need to know how to set up all your technical equipment. Here's the example of my setup for the World Championship final last year. I found a studio in downtown Ottawa because there was no room in the house I was in at my parents' place. And by the way, if I was presenting online at that hybrid conference, it's because I was with my family. There was no way for me to leave. There was a special gathering. So here's the setup that I had. And because it's a professional photo studio, you see the lighting, you see there's a special platform for my equipment. So it was great. It looked very nice, sleek, professional. But what if you don't have a professional photo studio at your disposal? This is a minimum budget setup. This is when I was traveling, but I needed to present a workshop. I was in a hotel room. I didn't bring all of my equipment, so I used what was there at my disposal. Look at my tablet is sitting on top of the ironing board. I used the lights from the room to have the special lighting setup. I removed the lampshades to have more light. My camera is on that special tripod on top of the garbage can, on top of the the recycle bin, on top of the night table. I completely redecorated the hotel room. Don't worry, put everything back before I checked out. But all this is just to show you that if it's only when you are able to really master the technical equipment or the technical aspects that you can have a maximum, that then you can think inside the box to use the stage well. In other words, my first ingredient today for your winning recipe is to master the tech. It's the basics. You need to be able to master the tech equipment if you want to have a maximum impact on your audience when you're speaking online. Now, the second ingredient, I'll let you know what is the main thing that made the difference between my beginnings as a speech competitor in 2009 and making it to the World Championship in 2022. The big difference, of course, I had 12 or 13 years of, of experience. That helps. But what really helped was who helped me. Because I realized more and more that I don't need to do this alone. And in fact, if you try to compete alone and make it to the top alone, you won't do it. You need that team. Just like a sports team, right? A sports team, you have you're not alone. You're doing it together. I had, for example, my sister helped me with the text and the structure. I had a friend who's a singer and a dancer who helped me with one particular move in my final speech. I had a friend who works in TV and a specialist of presenting online. She helped me with the lighting setup. But the key person that made all the difference, that made the most difference, is one person in the center of it all. What do you think it is? In a sports team, who do you have that's on the top? the coach. I'm going to let my coach talk to you about coaching. Here's Mark Hunter, the 2009 World Champion of Public Speaking.
Now, it's relatively easy to give a speaker feedback that reflects the judging sheet, but it is another thing altogether to commit at a deeply personal level to an individual and their speaking journey. And this is the way I prefer to work. While working with and for Alexandre, I got to know him well as we played. And ladies and gentlemen, did we play? We played with his primary messages, his purpose. We played with his content and delivery. And sometimes we even played with an individual word.
And thank you, Mark. We became good friends through that process. A coach is there to guide you and to help you determine what you can do to improve your presentations. A great coach will not tell you what to do, but will make some suggestions on what you can try. And a great coach is able to know where to look if there's something that's slightly off. A few weeks ago, we had a plumbing problem. In the shower, behind the wall, we could hear a dripping. There was a drip. So I took out a panel from the wall, and I looked inside with a flashlight and with my camera, and I could see where the water was dripping. And I thought, no, maybe I can fix it. I could go online, figure it out. Yeah, I could do that. Well, my spouse was there, and she said, no, you call someone. You better call someone. Yeah. She's smart. So we called a plumber, and the plumber came in, looked with a light, and identified the problem. The plumber knew exactly where to look and how to fix the problem, but especially to identify the problem and figure out which parts needed to be placed to fix the problem. A great coach knows where to look and to help you fix any problem that you might have in your speech. Coaching is so much fun. I could speak about this for a long time. If you want to learn to hear more about this, you could watch the Great Convos podcast with Roger and Alexandre. Roger, this guy, is the 2021 World Championship of Public Speaking third place winner. We have an episode each week. It's about 20, 25 minutes. And 2 weeks ago, we spoke about the power of coaching and what it can do for you, not just as a speaker, but in general. There was, of course, a lot of sports metaphors during that episode, as well as music. I did speak about music. So I invite you to watch that episode and other episodes if that interests you. But let me close by reminding you the 2 ingredients to the winning recipe. But before I do, I just want to remind you that speaking success doesn't necessarily mean winning trophies. You won't always be participating in a speech contest. But every time that you speak in front of your audience, whether they're online or on site, or both at the same time, you have the opportunity to transform people's lives. For the World Championship, I had a small card that I placed right below my camera. Make a better world. This was to remind me that people were watching and hopefully receiving my message. I was sharing my messages to make a better world. And for from the feedback that I received, I think I succeeded. I succeeded with my speech, using words and stringing them in a particular order, placing them and presenting them in a particular way, moving around my box in a particular way. That's how I was able to make a difference in the world. That's speaking success. So if you want to create your next great speech, use at least these 2 ingredients. If you're presenting online, you need to master the tech. And whether you're online or on-site or hybrid, one person that can really help you is a coach. Reach me and ask questions if you're interested in contacting me and you want to know more about speaking online or speaking hybrid or coaching or any of the other ingredients that I was not able to share today. Just go to my website, alexandremat.com. You can have, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a form, there's a contact form for you to be able to reach me. Well, my friends from Arizona, I hope that this has been useful for you. I'm going to put an end to this recording before I drop the ball. That was close. À bientôt. I hope I have the opportunity to see you in person one day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. What a real treat to have him share his message with us. And we are very, very thankful that he was able to do that. Thank you. All right, next up, we do have those announcements from Steve. He has been prepping his announcements, 5 pages, and we're ready to do that. Oh, wait, sorry, the chief judge may have the results. So Chief Judge, do we have the results of the contest or do I need Steve to read district announcements?
Well, I'm glad to say that we do have the results and they have been texted to you, Sarah.
Great, thank you. So Steve, you are off the hook. No more announcements. I would like to ask that all our contestants and everyone in the room, please turn on your cameras as we announce the winners of the contest. I know that many of the speakers were very nervous, and I want to thank them for all they did this evening to deliver great great speeches. So let's give them a round of applause because they truly delivered, and I want to thank them. All right, the chief judge has provided the results of the contest, and so I will read those. The winner of 3rd place is Ryajin Park. Yay, congratulations. The winner of 2nd place is Valerie Crew. And the winner of 1st place is Kiran Vedaham. I want to thank everyone who has attended this contest, and I especially want to thank the chief judge and the functionaries for all their hard work to put on this contest. It is not an easy feat to manage virtual contests, and I truly appreciate everyone for stepping up. And especially, I want to thank Christy Hopper for stepping up last minute as a pinch hitter? Yeah, as a pinch hitter, she did a great job with 2 weeks notice. So thank you, Christy, for all your hard work on this. And thank you to all the judges and functionaries for your hard work on this contest. And now I am going to turn it back over to our commissioner, Ryan, over there. Ryan,
Hey!
you're on the blue team, right?
Well, get out of here. No way. We're maroon all day, baby. Let's go, Devils. Appreciate it, Sarah. We know that Christy was brought up from the minors to the majors, and wow, the contestants tonight certainly were in the majors. I felt like Kiran was Babe Ruth out there. It was so fun to be able to watch and listen to these guys, and I'm so excited for tomorrow. We're going to have a hard-hitting batting practice with our roundtables that are happening. Make sure that you come. The box office starts at 9 a.m. at the Great Wolf Lodge. The doors will open at 9:30. The virtual lobby opens at 9:30 for all virtual attendees. Ultimately, the program is going to start at 9:45. Now, this is a last call for raffle tickets. We've got 6 vacations, massages, facials, so many great things going on, and you do not have to be present to win. The raffle tickets online purchase ends at 11:59 tonight. Make sure that you all are ready for tomorrow. We're going to make sure that it's a lot of fun. It's interactive. We got the awards. The All-Stars are coming in full force. And then we're going to be seeing some of the most dynamic speakers on the west side of Wrigley Field. With that,
Hey,
Toastmasters.
Ryan, our winner actually of the speech contest, Hiran, he had dropped off, but he just got back. So I don't even know if he won.
Oh.
He knows. I don't know if he knows that he won.
Hiran, are you with us? Did you hear that? What's up?
So let's give him a big congratulations, District 3.
Oh, he's at the Dobson Ranch Toastmasters happy hour.
He's been in more places than anything. He's been
Thank you so much.
room and then driving, and then now he's got all his friends.
I think Kiran may have to take one of Michael Desiderio's trophies off the mantle over there and hoist it up.
Well, congratulations. We are, oh, there you go. That was fast. They don't have a delay there. All right, well, congratulations. And then Ryan, we have one more video, an exciting announcement.
All right, let's end it with that.
Where will you be on July 22nd? I will be at the Mount Olympus Symposia, where we will celebrate the commitment and contributions of District 3 leaders this past year. My name is Lark Doley, the 2018-2019 Toastmasters International President. Mount Olympus may have Greek gods, but Toastmasters has golden leaders. Leadership opportunities abound in Toastmasters. What will be your next leadership step in Toastmasters? When will we celebrate you? Let's start the leadership celebration on July 22nd at the Mount Olympus Symposia at the Chateau Luxe Event Center in Phoenix, Arizona. I will be there. Will you?
Oh, so cool. We're looking forward to seeing everyone tomorrow as well as in the future. Thank you so much, Toastmasters, Sarah, amazing team, so great. Come in your maroon. I mean, if you want to wear blue, you can, but I want to see a lot of maroon out there.
Steve's over here. He's a Cubs fan, so he's real sad that you keep talking about the maroon. But all right, thank you, everyone. We will see you tomorrow, either virtually or in person. We are so excited. The gates for in person again open at 9 and 9:30 for the virtual. So be on time. We cannot wait to see you. Have a great night.
Adios.